Hello, and welcome to the FIDM information session. My name is Denise Baca, and I'm the Director of Admissions here at FIDM. Before we begin our program today, I want to introduce you to the two fellow admissions advisors, my co-host, Jennifer Clark, and Matt Shug, who will be behind the scenes answering your questions online. Thanks, Matt. We have all worked in admissions at FIDM for many years and agree that our absolute favorite part of the job is helping students find the major that is the perfect fit for them, and then seeing them flourish in schools and their careers. Today, we'll be focusing on our business majors. We will begin by giving you an overview of FIDM, then we will introduce a few of our wonderful business students who will let you know about their experiences at FIDM, why they chose their major, and answer all of your questions. First, I want to begin by giving you a little bit of background about FIDM. The college was founded in 1969 with only two majors, fashion design and fashion merchandising. We've grown to an internationally renowned college with over 30 majors, ranging from fashion, visual, and interior design to the business and entertainment industries with over 70,000 alumni. Our classes are taught by leading industry professionals, and we offer Associate of Arts and Bachelor's degrees, as well as a Master's in Business Administration. We also have professional designation programs because our students come to us at various stages in their lives, from high school students to college transfers, to military veterans, to second career seekers. Through all the years, our goal has essentially remained the same: to have an ongoing, engaging, rigorous learning environment that blends theoretical and applied learning or project-based learning, which ultimately prepares students to launch a career that is successful upon graduation. When students attend FIDM, the surrounding city is part of their education as well. One of the great things about Los Angeles is that in addition to fashion, just about every industry is represented here. This allows our students to have excellent internships that prepare them to work at top-rated companies or to become entrepreneurs and build their own brands. The campus itself is located in a very walkable neighborhood known as South Park. It's next door to the fashion district, but has an urban-suburban mix with coffee shops, parks, boutiques, and restaurants all nearby. Not far from the campus is Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, beautiful beaches, beautiful museums, the Grove Shopping District, and so much more. Fitum is a closed campus with an excellent security staff. The Business Improvement District, known as BID, has also done a really great job in providing local security guards who make sure the area is safe for all its residents. The Fitm housing is also in this community and is walking distance from the campus. There are virtual tours of the beautiful housing on our website if you want to take a peek. Los Angeles is definitely an exciting city to live. It has entertainment, culture, and opportunity, and our students take advantage of it all. Living here gives them the opportunity to work part-time in the industry while they're in school, take advantage of internships, and then to have careers with companies all over the United States and even internationally. This slide is showing a tiny sampling of where our grads work. We have grads at Disney, Nike, Pixar, Levi's, Nordstrom, ColourPop, J Brand Jeans, basically you name it, and we probably have a grad there. But we do have numerous alumni who also have started their own companies and brands. It really depends on what their goals are. One of the keys to our graduates being employable is the relationship they develop with the Career Center. From the very beginning of their education, students are given one-on-one access to the career advisors, as well as the online career portal. The career advisors teach professional skills classes to help students build their resumes, interviewing skills, portfolios, and to help them to define their goals. They assist students with getting internships, offer graduate job fairs, and provide lifetime career assistance upon graduation. Literally, the relationship students build with the Career Center is lifelong. Not only do our alumni come back to the college to look for jobs, but to hire Fitum students for their own companies. The networking opportunities at FIDM are endless. Students can network with the alumni, the faculty, industry guest speakers, and most importantly, with each other.
Thank you, Denise. In addition to utilizing our Career Center services, it is important for students to get involved while they're on campus. At Fitum, we know that the social component is key to a student's successful college experience. Participating in student activities is an important way to get involved. We have many clubs on campus that have something for everyone, including, but not limited to, Black Student Union, Phi Theta Kappa, Student Council, Mode Magazine, Student Veterans Association, and more. I always tell students that I work with to say yes to everything during their college experience. Join every club, shake every hand or elbow, bump everybody since it's 2021, but to take every business card, super important. By being active in clubs and on-campus events, students are able to meet great guest speakers, which allows for building connections with the industry and with the community at large. There are volunteer opportunities and ways to give back to the community through philanthropic endeavors, as well as opportunity for off-campus adventures. Now, let's talk a little bit about inclusion and support. At Fitum, we believe in supporting all students and their individual educational and career goals. We are also very invested in our students' mental health and well-being. To that end, we offer personal counseling services and have an open door policy across all departments. Students can meet with their department chairperson, their student advisor, even the vice president of the college, or whomever they need to in order to stay completely connected to their Fitum experience. Most importantly, Fitum fosters an inclusive and diverse student body, staff, and faculty. On-campus tutoring and educational resources are available as well. Help is here for the taking. The Idea Center offers individualized tutoring to students in a variety of subjects, such as English, math, Photoshop and Illustrator, or fashion sketching. We also have instructor-led lab studio time, an extensive state-of-the-art fashion, design, and art library, and a sustainable, innovative materials workroom. Fitum also offers many workshops and lectures on topics important to our students. For instance, just this week, we have a lecture discussing the state of sustainability in creative industries. We know this is a topic of special interest to many of our students.
Taking advantage of everything on campus is so important, but let's talk about some of your options beyond the campus. Fitum offers a variety of opportunities for study abroad and cultural exchanges. In a more typical time, our study tours would be taking trips to Paris, Italy, and China. But even though travel has been halted due to COVID, that hasn't stopped our students from exploring other cultures. Right now, our study abroad includes Zoom meetings with international designers and manufacturers, a cooking class from the Dominican Republic, a fresco painting class with a teacher in Florence, as well as other industry meetings so students can get behind the scenes experiences. Some of our advanced degree majors actually have travel as part of the curriculum, like the International Manufacturing and Product Development Program. The students go to Europe on a business trip and then to Asia to visit production facilities. We also have some local study tours and international exchange programs that allow students to study abroad for a full semester. So you might be asking yourself at this point, how can I take part in all of this? Your first step is to request an admissions advisor on the FIDM website. The application process is a very personalized experience, and your advisor will guide you through the entire process, including selecting your major and applying for scholarships and financial aid. For high school seniors and graduates, there is still time to apply for the July and the October 2021 starting quarters. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis as the space permits. For high school class of 2022, we do have a Junior Advantage priority application deadline of June 30th. If you qualify for this, there's some special privileges that come with meeting this deadline.
Now we have some fabulous current students with us. They're ready to impart some wisdom and information about their Fitum experience. We'd love for everybody to go ahead and put their question in the chat box, or excuse me, not the chat box, the Q&A box, while we get to know these students a little bit better. So I'm gonna have you guys turn your cameras on. We have Paris, welcome. Mina and Chaslin. So why don't you guys each kind of let me know what is your major at Fitum, maybe where you are in the program, and if you're currently in LA or if you're studying remote where you live. Paris, you can go ahead and start.
Hi everyone, my name's Paris and my major is Apparel Industry Management, and this is my final quarter in this major, and I have been doing it remote, and up until now we have hybrid classes, so next week I'll be going to campus for the first time and doing one of my classes a couple times there. I'm excited.
Amazing, so exciting. We can't wait to have you on campus. Mina, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, yes, I'm Mina Sanders. I am currently in my last quarter in the business management program at Fitum, and I am actually here in LA, but all of my classes are online, so learning off campus.
Excellent. You've been on campus though in your first 2 years, right? Mina?
Yes, I have my AA in visual communication.
Excellent. And then Chaslin, where are you and what are you studying?
Hi, I'm Chaslin. I'm studying merchandise product development. I'm actually in my last quarter of my associates, and then I'm going to be doing the not business management program, the bachelor program in digital marketing this fall, which is really exciting. And I am also currently in downtown Los Angeles, right across the street from Fitum.
Excellent. So to the audience, we have 3 fabulous students again, ready to answer a lot of questions. The first 2 questions are already for Paris. So let's hit you with the first one first. Can you talk about what apparel industry management is?
Yes. So apparel industry management is the program that really it's preparing you for eventual ownership of your own company or managing a company. And I chose that because when I toured Fitum, I actually was going into fashion design until I met with my advisor, and she went over all the majors with me and pointed out apparel industry management would be perfect for me because at the time I was my sister and I had started our own company, and I was looking to take it further by attending Fitum. So it ended up just being the perfect fit major for me. And I absolutely love it. I get a little bit of everything. I get the creative side, the business side. All the classes that I've taken have been amazing and super interesting and hands-on and fun.
Excellent. I think this is a good time to kind of point out how important working with an admissions advisor is, because so many students are creative, right? You're creative by nature. So you may be interested in 2 or 3 different majors or 4 or 10 different majors. And an admissions advisor can really help you kind of narrow down the focus, then curate a plan as you go through the program. So we talk to students a lot about layering their education, about your first 2 years will be in this, maybe your bachelor's degree in this, perhaps the MBA beyond that, and really help you kind of curate an educational pathway that feels kind of authentic to who you are and what you ultimately want to do in the creative world and in the program, obviously. So the second question for Paris is, what kind of assignments do you do for apparel industry management?
So it's been, like I said, the classes have been a range of classes, anything from I took a sewing class, technical sketching class, but then, like I said, the more business sides of classes, which I'm in right now, market analysis and presentation is a really cool class. And I said I'm in my final quarter, so I think everyone takes it in their final quarter, and you're put on a team with all the other students in your class, and each of you are assigned a role within a company, and you have to come up with a brand and do everything that you do in a company within the 10 weeks. And I'm product development for this one, so I'll be doing all the tech packs and spec sheets, cost sheets, and everything for that.
Excellent. So are you getting any sleep, or are you finding some good balance?
Yes, I have good balance.
Good. Balance is important. I think now is also, I'm just going to keep interjecting things as I think of them. Now is a good time to kind of point out to people who are watching that while Fitum serves creative industries, I think it's important to know that all of our students, whether they're in design programs or more of these business programs like you're hearing about today, the foundation is rooted in business, but we do serve creative industries, fashion, design, entertainment industries. So know that a lot of your work or your case studies will revolve around that. Mallory wants to know, what kinds of jobs do you each hope to get after your programs are finished? And then I'm going to piggyback on that and ask anybody if they're currently working or have done any internships, and how has that led you to kind of where you ultimately want to be? Maybe we can start with Chaslin.
Sure. So I actually, since I've been doing product development, it combines both design and business. So there are so many career paths that I could go down, and I think that's relevant for any major at Fitum. But I personally am really interested in trend forecasting as well as social media marketing as it pertains to fashion. So I don't know which one I'm going to pick yet, but those are like my two main interests. And then for internships, I think you were going to ask, I did one internship at Fitm for the National Retail Federation, and that lasted about a year. And it was a really great internship. I got it through a connection with the old social media manager that was like running everything at Fitm. So really good connections, and it was a really awesome internship.
Excellent. That kind of speaks to how important it is to utilize the Career Center to get to know everyone on campus. These connections are made this way: internship opportunities, apprenticeship opportunities, obviously work experience. Mina, what do you kind of ultimately want to do when you're done with your degrees at Fitum?
Yeah, so I am finishing up my last quarter, like I said. So I believe I'm wanting to go in more of the creative direction title. So kind of wearing different hats. I think having the visual communications degree under my belt has really helped me realize like my passion for a lot of just like hands-on creativity. And I'm currently with internships. I currently have 2 internships. So I am a social media intern here on campus at Fitum, and I am also a social media intern for the Mayfair Group, which is a apparel company, and we also do social media management and sales for other companies as well. So I am trying to wrap up my last quarter strong and having a great time, kind of exiting and thinking about my future. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, good for you. I'm excited for your future too. It sounds like you're spinning a lot of plates and doing it all really well. So keep doing what you're doing. Paris, do you kind of have an idea about what you want to do when you graduate?
My idea of what I've wanted to do has changed each quarter. I feel like with all the different classes I take, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm really interested in this, and now I'm interested in this. But right now, at the moment, I'm really interested in product development. That's why I ended up choosing to be that department for the market analysis class I was just talking about, just so I could kind of get more of a feel for it. So maybe something I love, my attention to detail, like I really like tech packs, and just like I said, anything attention to detail is where I'm really finding I like the most. So I'm leaning towards that at the moment, but like I said, it changes weekly.
And I think it's really smart to keep your options open. I feel like when you're in your college experience, the goal is to know more about this industry than you did before you started college. So be the sponge. Get in the classroom, learn everything there is to know about every single aspect of this industry. Take internships in companies that you didn't even think about perhaps working for, because you never know how you're going to kind of navigate through the industry. We had a student on yesterday talking about her ultimate goal is to design bridal, but she took an internship for a streetwear company. I think it's really important to be well versed in all aspects of this industry, not just to promote your own marketability, but also for you to know what you ultimately want to do. We have 2 questions for Mina in a row. Mina, and this is coming from Natalie. Is the business management at Fitum based around the fashion industry, or is it more general?
So I love that question. I would say at the end of my program, I felt a combination of both, kind of like overall aspect. I'd say the program does an amazing job of focusing on different types of businesses. So for one of my finals, I'm focusing on Mattel, that company, which obviously is a huge actual corporation, but is known for owning Barbie. And so with that, there's a lot of spin-offs and details, and overall financial literacy is something that the program really hones in on. So understanding a lot of the numbers aspects, financial ratios, and different things like that. And I just love that I've been able to hone in on different types of companies.
I think that's really smart too. I mean, when you look at the BS in business management, it's a very traditional business degree. We certainly understand the industries that we serve, but we need you as a student to be well versed in business, period. So to be able to do that really promotes your marketability when you graduate from college too. So I think that that's really great. And then Mina, somebody else wants to know, Carolina is asking, you said that you did your AA in visual communications. Why did you choose business management for your bachelor's?
Yeah, so I've actually gotten that question quite a bit, and I was accepted to Fitum as a junior in high school, and it has always kind of been my plan to do VCOM and then do business management. And I chose both of those because I wanted to challenge myself and kind of help strengthen my left and right brain. And I think it also makes me more marketable in the industry because I also have different skills of social media and creativity, production, that I've been able to gain experience through different internships and networking that I can also add to my resume on top of my degree. So it really just helps make me more well-rounded applicant as I'm exiting Fitum.
Absolutely. I think that's spot on. And that's what we talk to a lot of students about in the interviewing process, how important it is to kind of understand that you get the opportunity to layer your education. There's not one direct pathway into this industry. There are so many opportunities. And as you're kind of navigating through your programs, you realize what you love, what you maybe don't love, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And then you kind of play to your strengths and you just keep building and layering those blocks to promote marketability. So I think that that's awesome. Okay, Chaslin, we've got a question for you from Alex. What's the hardest aspect of your major?
Okay, so product development is very broad, which is actually what I love about it, but it is the most challenging aspect of the major, just because you're doing so many different things, because you're doing pattern making, you're doing sewing, tech packs, but then you're also doing all of like the business classes and marketing and learning how to use Excel. So it is a lot of hats that you're wearing, but I think that it's good because then kind of just like what Jennifer was saying, you find out what you actually like. For me, I found out that I actually like the branding aspect of it and design. So then I was like, maybe I want to do my bachelor's in digital marketing. So it's very hard because you have to learn how to do a lot of different things. I came in not even knowing how to sew and they taught me how. So very challenging, but so worth it.
Excellent. I think that's a really good point. I mean, how do you know what you want to do until you know what you want to do? And you have to do it to know. So it's really great to kind of be able to experience all things. Then you narrow down your focus a bit. So I also like where Paris is kind of in that really wide open place of, I'm still kind of exploring all my options, which again, that's where you want to be in your college experience. Don't walk in thinking you know exactly what you want to do because you might be shutting off, opportunity elsewhere. Royal Essence has a question. I think I'm going to let Chaslin take it because I already know that you're involved in one of our clubs on campus, or maybe more. But then ultimately, if everybody wants to chime in, if you've been able to take advantage of clubs, what, if any, Fitum clubs and organizations are you a part of? And can you tell us about your experiences being a part of them?
Sure. So I'm a part of a lot of clubs at Fitum. The first one is Fitum Mode, which is our student run magazine. So I've been doing like modeling and different things for that ever since I came to Fitum back in 2019. The second one is Social Ambassadors, which is a group of content creators that are all at Fitum, and we all create content for Fitum. In the past, we've been on some really fun trips. We went to Disney together, which was like so amazing. And then the third club would be the Black Student Union, which is our newest club and our biggest club. I'm actually vice president of that. And obviously that's just a club where all people of color can come together and kind of build a community, which is really important.
Absolutely, very important. Mina, have you been involved on campus?
Yeah, so I'm kind of always around. I would say last year I had a social media internship here on campus 1 day a week. And then this year, starting in January, I'm here 3 days a week on campus, and I'm also a Fitum social ambassador. So I've been able to work closely with the ambassadors and help them come up with concept ideas for their quarterly content, and really, connect with them during the times of COVID, and, trying to, just be there for new students, adding on ambassadors, chatting with people. And I've also, had my foot in the door with events and different things like this, just really being a cheerleader for Fitum. So it's been really fun.
Excellent. Paris, have you been able to take part in anything remotely?
I have not, unfortunately. But I definitely think that would be different if I had started school in Fitm when it was on campus and I was there and got to see what was going on more. But
Sure.
unfortunately, no.
All right, we'll get you involved, because I think this
Okay.
is probably a good time to talk about. Right now, we're in a kind of hybrid situation. As Paris said, she's going to have her first on-campus experience next week. So we are offering classes hybrid and remote right now. And then in summer, we're still going to be hybrid and remote, but more hybrid classes will be offered. And then we are expecting and prepared for a full reopening in the fall. I do think it's important to note too, that since we have been remote, all of our clubs have had a remote component. So students are able to kind of join. We have a student newsletter that comes out every week. So I know we're at the end of this remote situation, so we won't kind of belabor the issue, but it has been nice for some students to still stay connected to their kind of college experience, even if it's remotely. Yesterday, we had a student on who was living out of state and felt fortunate that she was able to kind of meet all of her classmates and join remote clubs and things like that. Okay, I'm going to ask Marco's question. I think I'm going to direct it at Mina, because I think the answer is yes for Mina. Were any of you, and maybe, I think it was also true for Chaslin, and I don't know, Paris, if it was true for you, you chime in too. Were any of you part of the Junior Advantage program? If so, how was the process and what was the result? I think the results were good because we're sitting here now, but let Marco know how the process went for you.
Yeah, so Matt was actually my advisor, and it's been great just seeing him on campus throughout all of this and having him been with me through the beginning. I'm from a small town on the East Coast, so it was definitely a big move for me. And I was connected with Fitum with the Fitum Fashion Club. So that's how I found out about Fitum. And the application process was absolutely amazing. It was seamless. It was so reassuring. And when I was finally able to visit the campus, I just felt so at home, so welcomed, and felt like the community was perfect for me. And I'd say specifically the admissions advisors, they walk you through everything each step of the way. They're there for you, hop on calls, they prepare you, they help guide you, pick your right major. I know that that's something that there's so many options, you don't know what to pick from. And so they're really there for you every step of the way. And it's amazing the support that, throughout everything that I've had in coming to a close of my program, but it's amazing.
Good. It'll be bittersweet, but maybe more sweet, because we'll send you off into the big world, and you'll just have to let us know all the great things that you do. Chaslin, you were accepted as a junior also, right?
Yeah, so I actually have a very similar journey as to Mina. So I'm also from the East Coast. I'm from Rhode Island, and I started the first fashion club at my high school and was president of that. And then from there, my admissions advisor, I think her name was Miss Deborah Hatcher. I worked with her and she guided me on what major I wanted to do because I was so stuck. I was like, I think I want to do something that's business related. And then she looked at my portfolio and she was like, are you sure you don't want to do something more creative? And I'm so glad that she said that because I love this major and it ultimately is like the reason why I picked Fitum because no other school had a major that kind of like combines both of my passions. So I kept Fitum in my back pocket and then I visited the campus my senior year and that's when I made my decision. I was like, I have to come here.
Yeah, amazing. Good. We're glad you were able to visit. And again, I'm going to interject. Starting last week, we were able to start scheduling campus tours. The key asterisk in bold word is scheduling. We can't have group tours on campus, but if students would like to schedule a campus tour, just reach out to your admissions advisor and we can kind of get you on the calendar for a campus tour. So if anybody's going to spend their summer touring colleges and you want to add Fitum to the list, just know that you can. I saw a question for Paris. What programs do you do that are hands-on?
So some of the classes that I did that were super hands-on and that I loved, and there were also a lot of product development majors in there as well, were my apparel process 1 and 2 classes where you're learning how to sew and make patterns. And I love doing that. And then technical sketching, which is hand sketching, and then computer sketching were both, I loved those.
Excellent. So I think the apparel industry management program is a really great kind of division of labor, if you will, from the hands-on design component and then layering in the business component and then the manufacturing piece. So it's essentially a business program, but you really get that hands-on design piece as well. Same with kind of product development, a little bit different, but it's the same kind of concept where you're learning the process behind design, but the business side as well. Okay, this is one of my favorite questions because I already know the answer, and I can't wait to hear what you guys say about this from Royal Essence. Is the Fitum workload overwhelming? And how do you best manage your time so you don't feel too overworked? Let's start with Mina, who has 2 internships and is finishing up her bachelor's degree. Is it a lot of work?
Yes, I feel like some people might think that Fitum, would be easier because it's a fashion school. However, like Fitum is a place where everything is taken seriously and you're prepared at the end of your program to step into your career. And so I have just been feeling so lucky to have all of these skills and experience under my belt as I'm exiting. I'd say it's definitely been a transition, but I've also been lucky enough to been and am a very good time management tool, resource seeking. Like I'm not afraid to ask help. I manage my time. I've definitely learned how to say no to certain things. And at the end of the day, my education is my priority. And I feel so lucky to have that as an option. And I would say overall, it's manageable. And at the end, you also have a feeling of like, wow, I did that. I'm so proud of myself, my friends, like my graduating class, everyone has worked so hard. And especially in the midst of a pandemic, it's that even more makes it like, wow, I did that. And we all did such an amazing job and we made it through.
Sure. What an accomplishment. I think it's important to know also that at Fitum, we're preparing students for professionalism in this industry, right? So it's not a theory-based education. Students are very much applying everything they learn in the classroom to their industry. So in that way, it's more project-based, I think. There's a lot more kind of 10-week projects. You don't want to wait until week 8 to complete. So I think knowing that you're being prepared for professionalism, corporate level positions, entrepreneurship in a particular industry, particularly one of your choosing, it makes it maybe more kind of engaging, but not any less hard, not any less rigorous. How have you been able to manage your time, Chaslin?
Yeah, I think like the main question that everyone gets, but you definitely come here to work. The workload is heavy, but it's manageable if you manage your time wisely, kind of like what Mina was saying. Make sure that you're doing all of your assignments. Like if not right after the class, very soon, because it can get to be very overwhelming. But like you were saying, it does prepare you for the industry. And honestly, I have learned so many skills that I came in knowing nothing about. And I wouldn't have those skills without the workload that they give. And also, if it's your passion, you're going to like doing it anyways. It's kind of like fun work. If you think about it, it's going to take a while, but if it's something you truly enjoy, it should be good.
Excellent. Paris, you're managing your time okay over there in San Diego?
Yes. Mine, like, to bounce off Chaslin, like, you're going into something that you're wanting to do, hopefully. And like, that's what makes this different than so many other degrees or anything else, is like, you're truly like really interested in doing this and you're passionate about it. So it's not so much like school, like, okay, here's this vocab sheet, remember the definitions, come in for a quiz. It's like real life stuff that you're gonna be doing, and it's very hands-on and exciting and cool. It's not just school. I think it's actually really preparing you for the real world. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. And so rewarding as well. I've had students like come flying into my office. Like, I was up until 4:00 in the morning, but look what I've done. It's just so rewarding to, hit send or get that thing done. And it feels like such a sense of accomplishment, particularly again, because you're learning about what you're ultimately going to be doing in this industry. All right. Who am I going to ask this question of? Mina, what's a typical day like at Fitum?
Wow. Okay. I would say current, like as an intern or as a student. What should I go?
Say, Jess, what does a typical day look like for you, Mina, as a student / intern?
Yeah.
Do you get your coffee at Phil's and then come flying into school?
Yeah. So it honestly depends. I have really tried to like make the most of my days, and like I said, like time management, do things during the day and throughout the week that I really enjoy. So I'd say I live downtown, so I get up and I either have a coffee at home or I grab one on the way when I have my internships here on campus. And then I really get my day started and chat with the social team. We've just hired on a new social media manager, so it's been great to work with her, collaborate creatively with her, and I have been able to really like hone in on social media skills and analytics that I wouldn't have without this internship. So it's been amazing. And then I go ahead and take my lunch and continue out the workday. And that's when I go home at 5 and then I start homework. So my nights consist of homework. There's actually a little like takeover that I did last quarter and a reel that's posted on the social media page that kind of highlights a week in my life. So my evenings and my weekends consist of homework, internship, and it's definitely a lot, but it will benefit me in the end. And I've had such an amazing time and I'm so proud of myself that I've been able to manage it. And last semester or quarter, I actually made president's honor roll. So it just goes to show that you can do anything you put your mind to, but definitely busy, but we like being busy.
Exactly. Congratulations on president's honor roll. I think that a lot of students also love, and maybe you guys could chime in or agree or not or something. Students love the idea of being with fellow creatives, your roommates, your friends, you're all following a passion-driven path. You're all on a certain trajectory. You get each other. You kind of speak the same language. The things that make you happy and excited, the internships, the apprenticeships are kind of familiar to everybody else. And I think in that way, it feels like you have this built-in community of people who get you. So, one of the questions is about housing. So I'll ask you guys, but we had mentioned yesterday, like your roommate is never going to be a, kinesiology student that you kind of don't really you like, of course, but don't speak the same language. You're not on the same path. And I think there's something about being in an environment of people that are like-minded, that are as driven as you are. It just makes you work harder. It just does. That's just kind of how life goes. So into Royal Essence's question, have any of you lived on campus pre-pandemic or currently, because we do have students in housing and have had since, back in March. How is the housing process, which I can kind of fill into? You guys talk about your roommate pairings, things like that. Mina, are you in Fitum housing?
I'm not.
Have you ever been?
Yes, I have been. I started out at G12 and then got moved over to Broadway Palace. And then I had some interesting times with the pandemic, ended up moving back home, stayed at home, and now I live off campus. And I've been lucky enough to live by myself. So I've just been, doing that, and just with COVID and everything. So fingers crossed, moving forward, everything will be good. But yeah,
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I lived in campus housing. It was great.
Excellent. And Chaslin, you were in Fitum housing for a little while, right?
Yeah, so I did Fitm student housing for a year at the Met, which is right across the street from Fitm. And I had done like the roommate search process on social media, Facebook, Instagram. But something was just telling me to do the random option that they have, which is like such a leap of faith, but I did it. And I ended up, my roommate and I are the same major. We're still friends to this day. We're like best friends. And it was just like the best pairing. So definitely like one of like the more success stories of doing that by random. But I did that for a year, and then me and that roommate got along so well that we decided to just get our own lease somewhere else. So that's what I'm doing now. But I'm still at the Met, like right across the street from Fitum. It's just like not technically student housing, but I definitely recommend doing it so that you can meet people and connect, and it's a really good experience.
Absolutely. So I am going to agree with Chaslin. I think that especially for out-of-state students, but even for students in California. I mean, we have students in Fitum housing who were born and raised in LA, but they want to have that going away to college experience. And again, they want to be with their peer group. So if you were born and raised in LA, but you need to be in LA to study something, fashion, beauty, business related, because LA is the largest fashion center in the United States, you're not going to move away, but you're going to move into Fitum housing. And I think Fitum housing is a really great opportunity to meet other students, to get kind of immersed in the culture of your new experience. To answer your question about roommate pairings, so we do have the opportunity to just kind of match students up. So if you don't find someone through the Fitum Facebook page, so I'll explain that. There is a private Facebook page only for accepted students. So when Chaslin was accepted, she could go into that Facebook page and be like, hey, I'm Chaslin. I just got accepted. I'm starting school in fall 2019. At that point, students do pair up sometimes. If you don't find someone that way, then we will randomly pair you. But again, going back to the community on campus, the randomness doesn't feel so random because, even if your roommate isn't in your major, they're still, again, on this track that you're on. They're hyper-focused students in pursuit of an education that's going to put them in a particular industry. And I think in that way, those random pairings actually work for anybody who's watching, who's coming maybe straight from high school or even coming from college. Know that I think the one criteria that we really try to kind of stick with in pairing people up is age. So if you're coming straight out of high school, you'll be with other students straight out of high school. If you're coming from college, we might put you in a housing situation with other roommates that have some college experience as well. I think that's important. And, no better way to kind of explore LA than with your new roommates. Fitum housing is amazing. And if you want to look it up online, it also is beautiful and feels almost contrary to how a college student should live. When I was in college, our housing did not look like that. Okay, Carolina has a question, and I know the answer already for at least Chaslin. Were any of you part of a Fitum fashion club in high school? And if you were, did you create the club or did you just join? Chaslin, you were in Fitum fashion club, right?
Yeah, so I created it. I pitched it to the principal of my school, and I was like, I went to a performing arts school, so it was really something that we were lacking and we needed. So I just like went to my principal and I was like, hi, like this is what I want to do. This is the name of the school, and he approved it. And then from there, I had to kind of build it from the ground up, and I believe it's still going on to this day. So it's really rewarding to start it.
That's awesome. You created a legacy. Anybody else part of their fashion club in high school? Okay. So, oh wait, did I hear a yes?
Yes, I actually became the president. So I joined as a sophomore, and I was a member my sophomore and junior year, and then senior year I was president.
Excellent. Good for you. And do you think it's still going on at your high school, or do you not know?
Yes, no, I was very close with the girl who took over the presidency, and I'm pretty sure it's still going.
Excellent. So for anybody out there who doesn't have a fashion club at their high school, start one. You can start anything. You can start anything. You can create a legacy. We will help you. We have information on our website. And then we certainly have a separate website called fashionclub.com where you can go and learn about how to start a club. Also, we do have college fashion clubs. So if you're at community college or anywhere and you want to start a fashion club at your college, again, fashionclub.com, or reach out to an admissions advisor and we can kind of help you navigate that. Someone is asking, what does Fitum look for in an applicant and an application and a personal statement? I'm going to answer that just a little bit. I mean, I think you're looking at 3 fabulous examples of what we're looking for in a prospective student. And as an admissions advisor, I think it's important to know that we will walk you through the application process. I tell students all the time, send me your personal statement, send me your portfolio or your project piece, send me your letters of recommendation. I'm going to read it through first before scheduling an admissions acceptance interview with the director. I think it's important to know that you have an advocate on campus and that you're kind of looking at the right major and you're ready for the next step. So we're looking for motivated students, students that are go-getters, students that start their own fashion club and create a legacy, students that know what they want to do. And to kind of amend that, you don't need to know a job title. I think it's also important to know that we're a college. We're preparing students for professionalism, again, in the whole of this industry. So I almost think it's better if a student doesn't know exactly what they want to do when they graduate, because again, they become a little bit more open-minded about it. But you have to at least know that this is your industry, that you're a creative, that you're very business-minded, you love beauty, you want to be in fashion, whatever it is. And then we can kind of help you put together the best application so that you feel confident walking into your acceptance interview with the director of admissions and feel like you've put your best foot forward. And hopefully these ladies will agree that they felt prepared for a successful acceptance interview with the director of admissions that they met with. Someone is also, and I don't mean to take this over, but I do want to make sure we answer most of the questions. What do you know about the merchandising and marketing program? And I don't know that since nobody is in that program that they can probably speak to it clearly. But what I know about the merchandising and marketing program is that it is a business program preparing students for this industry. So what I think is important to know about all majors is that your major doesn't define you. A product development student can go into social media marketing. We know this because Chaslin is doing the bachelor's degree in digital marketing. But so can a merchandising and marketing student. A merchandising and marketing student can go into buying, can go into wholesale, certainly retail, running a company, owning a company. There's lots of entrepreneurship classes. So there's opportunity for students to explore kind of crossover within this industry, if that makes sense. So just if anybody walks away with a pearl of wisdom about majors, your major doesn't define you. You create your own path. Your major gives you parameters, helps you build a portfolio. The merchandising and marketing program is probably one of the only business programs that you'll find out there where students walk away with a portfolio that kind of shows and outlines exactly what they know how to do, which I think is really important for creative industries. But ultimately what you do with that education is totally up to you. And we will help you, of course, guide you through the Career Center and creating that educational pathway and future professional pathway, but your major is not going to pigeonhole you necessarily into a job title. There's lots of crossover. Mina, how has it felt doing business management remotely? Since it is a hands-on major, is there a difference from learning online than in person?
I was lucky enough to have in-person classes at the start of my program last year. Those were cut off and made online, but I would say in-person and online have been obviously a little bit different, but the communication and the discussions, the group work has all been the same. And I feel very lucky to have connected with a few people in the beginning, kept up with them on social media. We've been able to collaborate on projects together, and even getting to know students that I didn't know before when we're put together on projects, and connecting with people on social media, on LinkedIn. So I'd say the overall experience has, I still feel like I have a great education and understanding of business management as I step out of my program.
I will say thank you. I will say that many students who have been on campus before and then had to go remotely have said similar things. Like, we were able to turn on a dime and really pivot to meet the moment that we were facing in our world. And I think there's an important distinction to be made between pure online learning, remote learning, and hybrid. So we know what hybrid means. You have the opportunity to come on campus. But what Fitum has really prided itself on through this time that we've lived through is offering remote learning options. A remote environment is very different. You're on a Zoom like this. You're face to face with your classmates. So when Paris walks into class next week, she will already know who she's going to be meeting. You've met them, you've seen them, you've worked on projects together. We have had some pure e-learning classes, but for the most part, most of our classes have been offered remotely, which I think has made a world of difference. So if anybody has taken classes at community college or state and been pure e-learning and never even seen your instructor, or had to email to ask questions instead of having face-to-face answers, I think remote has been a very different experience and has absolutely contributed to our students' success in making this change. But we're going back to normal, which is really great. Okay. Sorry. Carolina, what kind of portfolio or project did you do for your applications? I want to just preface this by saying one thing. For students studying our business majors, we will give you a project. If you're sitting out there thinking, oh my gosh, I've never sketched before, I've never sewn, I want to study merchandising and marketing or beauty, that's okay. We give you a project. It's an essay, actually, where you're doing kind of a deep dive into a brand and their social, environmental impact. So know that for business majors, they're doing projects. Now, Mina might have had a different experience because she came in as a visual student. So do you want to let us know what you put together for your visual portfolio?
Yeah, of course. So I worked with Matt, and I believe there was a little essay that I wrote, just kind of like about my background, who I was, what I stood for. And then I had two projects which were more kind of display merchandising related. One was more of like a Mod Podge collage that I created. It was really fun. And the other one was a sketch of a window display and then an interior display in a store. So I did those, and honestly, that was the best work I had done like previously, like obviously before taking sketching classes. And I really just felt that Fitum saw my potential, and it was just amazing to have someone recognize that and, help me move forward and enhance those skills.
Excellent. So we have so many questions and not enough time. Eek. Okay, I'll ask Mateo's question because it pertains to everybody. So if you guys can all pop in, maybe we'll go Chaslyn, Paris, Mina. What made you decide on Fitum's business programs when choosing your college? And can you say that it met your expectations now that you're currently there? Chaslyn?
So yeah, kind of just wrapping up what I said before, I chose product development because it combines business and design. So that was like my ultimate, like what made me choose the major, because I didn't want to do just one or the other. So I feel like that was really beneficial for me. I think Mina mentioned it earlier, where you can kind of have like all of these skills, and it makes yourself more marketable.
Excellent. Paris?
So I'm a little confused. Is this about why I chose apparel industry management or
Yeah,
Fitum?
what, right.
Okay.
Yeah, why did you
Okay.
choose the major, and has it met your expectations?
Definitely met my expectations, and I chose it because, like I said, my sister and I started a clothing company, and so we put that on pause so I could go back to school and learn all the ins and outs of having your own company and hopefully making it as reaching its full potential in the future.
Brilliant. Mina?
Yes, I would say overall, 1,000 times yes. I have come and am exiting with such a understanding and comprehension of business, in the sense of like there's so many different schools, and I feel like here I've been able to get the most like financial literacy and step into the business side. Like people think that it's just fashion, but there's so much more, and it's kind of opened my eyes to that side of everything, because I feel like sometimes for me I can be so sometimes like narrow-minded about something, and it's just like the world is your oyster. Like there's so many different aspects to every industry, and even in business itself I've learned so much about business, about leadership in business, which I think is so important. And I've just felt so lucky to have all of those skills and again be well-rounded.
Yep, ready to take on the world. Okay, Mallory asked my favorite question, which was going to be my question, but she stole it, which is great because it's coming from the audience. Any parting words of advice, any pearls of wisdom for someone who wants to apply to Fitum? Let's do Chaslin, Paris, Mina again.
Okay, I love this question. I would just say, if you want to apply to Fitum, just do it. And I feel like once you get that acceptance, once you start coming to like doing the tours, coming to campus, seeing all the things that they really have to offer, that's when like you'll know in your head like what school you want to go for. It's like a gut feeling. So you'll know when you know if design and or business or whatever it is your passion. This is definitely the school for you to pursue that. So you'll know it in your gut when you get
I
it.
agree. When you know, you know. Paris, any parting words of wisdom?
I totally agree with everything Chaslin just said. I have actually attended 3 different colleges before Fitum, and this is by far if you love being creative or the business side or anything, don't hesitate. You need to apply to Fitum. It is just amazing, everything about it. And my main thing is all the connections, all of your teachers, they're in the industry. They can teach you everything like in class and outside of class, and I think building relationships with them is really important.
Excellent. Mina?
Yeah, even overall, just like I think the resources, like Paris was saying, like everything that Fitum has to offer is so unique, and it's so easy to apply all of it as you like enter and you're in the program, and as you exit, it's all just so forever flowing, and it flows so well. And I think just definitely using the Fitum admissions as a resource. Like we're here, I know, there's the Fitum social ambassadors. We love chatting with you and, making connections and just, really sharing our amazing experiences. And I think that every resource that Fitum has to offer is just so useful. And it's amazing.
Good. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I think the moral of the story is to just do it. Follow your gut, follow your passion, make it happen. We are obviously all here to help. So if you have been in touch with an admissions advisor, reach out to them and say, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm inspired. If you have not, call on in. We can help you with that piece too, but just know we are here for you. I know that Denise and I would like to thank these three lovely ladies for helping us today. And we would like to thank you all so much for joining us. I think Denise might have some parting words.
Hello, and thank you guys again. You did a great job. It was really informative. I just wanted to share a couple of our upcoming lecture series taking place on May 11th and May 13th. So we'll see you students back on campus. And for those of you watching, we just wanted to let you know there's other opportunities to, listen to these lecture series, learn about the programs at Fitum, and learn about the industry. And so we hope this has really been helpful to you. And just remember to connect with an admissions advisor, and we hope to see you in person soon.